Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And with the declining popularity and fan community reaction, thanks but no thanks, to recent updates, I decided to go back and take a look at dev notes and really try and, shake some life out of the devs, maybe get some improvements to the game more rapidly, but most of all is reestablish that communication, because as silly as it sounds, because really we really just want updates. But as silly as it sounds, the dev notes actually make such a huge difference on the game, even though they're spread so far apart. And not having dev notes makes me more nervous about the game than almost anything else. So we're talking about dev notes today. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but it is a little bit interesting to go back and see, because actually dev notes have not been around for very long, and I didn't know this. I did not know this. They only started, at least according to my YouTube historian chronology, back in May of 2020. You can see here in the description of my video, this is the first time ever that MFF development team has written a dev note to explain decisions in an upcoming update. I hope this level of communication continues. Oh, my sweet summer child. I wish I could promise 2020 Alex that everything was going to be okay. I mean, yeah, it was going to be all right, but yeah. So this was back in May of 2020. If you guys don't remember, 2020 got off to one of the worst starts we've ever seen in Marvel Future Fight. We had that infamous Warriors of the Sky Awakening update where they basically introduced Awakening in the worst way possible, and then they threw it back to back with another Captain America Hydra uniform, and then they threw it back to back with a mega paywall mutant update. So it was just absolutely a disaster. The first 3 months of 2020, I hated MFF. Straight up hated the game. I don't hate the game now, but what it is now is it's hard to love the game, which I find so much more annoying in my opinion, because if the game is just screwing up, then you can just point to the screw-ups and be like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, fix it. They're not necessarily doing things wrong. Like Storm is obviously a mistake, but besides Storm, the tier 4s are actually pretty well balanced. They're not game breaking. There's no PvP, whatever, so there's not like really clear things. It's basically Storm and then the lack of characters, right? But this is a lot worse, and in my opinion, and it's a lot harder to target, to specifically target, which is why I want to make a video about the dev note, which is why we're here. So yeah, anyways, I don't want to go through every single dev note. There's a bunch of them. This is not like a look back in time, but what I do want to point out, back last year, not that long ago, less than a year ago, all right, basically a Dr. Seuss rhyme, we had a developer note in October. Wow, October 2021. We had a development note for Instinct and Artifacts, yay, and Timeline Survival, probably the next game mode to get Caesared by Brutus. And then 1 month later, check the timestamp here, October 8th, 2021. Boom, November 18th, 2021. Just over a month. We're at 40 days later. We get another dev note. Wow, cue the Casino U1 jackpot music. And this time they were talking about improvements to dimension rifts, which we now know what's going to happen because we're in the future. Story mode improvements, we already know what they did. And then surveys. Do you guys remember surveys? Whoa, surveys. They want our opinions. Yeah, remember the last time you did a survey? You go over to the inbox, you go over to the notice tab. There's a survey here. You take the survey. It gives you a little bit of gold and energy, maybe some boost points. That's cool. Very cool. So that was November. October, November, back-to-back dev notes. Look at the communication. Crazy, right? I know. But why were they doing that, Alex? Oh, well, we just had the Shang-Chi, right? We just had the Shang-Chi MCU update in September. And then, of course, November was the Eternals update. So it was all the MCU updates, Alex. We haven't had any MCU updates this year to justify a dev note. Whoops. We've had 2 MCU updates. And if you count the Disney Plus shows, it's more than 2. But we've had at least 2. Now, Thor Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange. And how many dev notes have we had this year? MCU related dev notes, we've had 0. Okay, but we did have 1 dev note this year. So this is sort of my point. This year, so back in October, November, we had 2 dev notes. So we had at least 2 for that year. I didn't go back and check, but we probably had more than 1, yeah? So last year we had at least 3 dev notes. This year thus far, and we're already halfway through the year, we're already past the halfway point, we've only had 1 dev note, and it was not that long ago. It was about 3 months ago at the end of April, and it wasn't necessarily a dev note. I don't want to be picky. It was a dev note, but it was also a letter of appreciation, which it's nice. I don't want to poo-poo this, but at the same time, like, look, 240,000 views on this dev note, right? There's a lot of people playing, man. Why don't you continue communicating with us? This is 250,000. That's a lot of people on a frickin' forum. Not everyone who plays the game goes in the forum, so there's probably more players than that. So anyways, my point is, so looking back, moving forward, I don't know how much moving forward we've done since then. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But they talk about upcoming changes. I mean, listen, the dev note's really well done. This is one of the best dev notes they've ever released. I remember reading it, but I've also reread it today in preparation for this video. It's a really good dev note. They're basically hinting ahead of time about tier 4s because they want to, create new challenges to give us the satisfaction of collecting and strengthening our heroes, because they realized that at this point we were just kind of collecting but not really building them up because it was just kind of too easy before tier 4, yada yada yada. Not for everybody, but you kind of get what I'm saying. But the automation of story mode also made it a lot easier to farm tier 3 materials. So then they teased the new giant boss raid. So this is Dormammu before Dormammu, of course. They talk about difficulty rearrangements and the addition of new world bosses. They also talk about how they want to add 1 to 2 new world bosses in the second half of this year. So we're getting into the second half of this year. I know there's still like 5 months left. I understand how calendars work, but again, a dev note would be nice. Why don't you guys tease the next world boss legend? Why don't you guys communicate a little bit so that players stop quitting? I don't like saying that. And when I say that, although it is true, it's true at all times of the year. Whether the game is amazing or the game is in a rut, whether the game is, pumping out new content, new characters, or whether the game is doing what they're doing now and just skating by on our goodwill and built up gratitude for the devs and just releasing kind of lackluster uniforms. Players quit all the time. It's not a new thing, right? Nobody plays this game forever unless you're psycho like me. So I get that. But lately, I have seen, and I can see with the eye test, but also with likes and interaction on social media, the game is in a period of lull, which is strange considering an MCU update just came out. So they're not really capitalizing on the MCU updates that much. Now, if you've seen all of the Hall H announcements from San Diego Comic-Con, you're probably thinking, Alex, make another video today. Talk about all the crazy updates that we're going to be getting over the next 3 years because of all the movies. Well, MFF devs have not really been capitalizing on the they didn't really make a home run update for Multiverse of Madness. They also didn't make a home run update for Thor Love and Thunder. Those updates are supposed to bring in lots of new players. So they gotta start looking at this, and they gotta start maybe making some changes. I don't know why it's cut off, but they gotta start making some changes because they're sort of having the opposite effect that they usually do. And the MCU updates are the bread and butter of this game. If the MCU updates don't do well, something's very wrong with the game's development, in my opinion, or at least with the game's communication and some of the development decisions. But yeah, I don't like all this stuff. I don't really see it being implemented. It has not been implemented at all yet, even though they talked about it 3 months ago, and they talked about it happening this year and in the second half of this year. They also have not segmented the difficulty. They have also not segmented the rewards because they talk about changing the rewards for World Boss Legend, right? Segmenting Legend difficulty into different levels of difficulty. Each level will yield different rewards. Currently, that is not the case. Null, Mephisto, and Ultron all have the exact same rewards. The only small difference is the CTPs that drop, of course, and then the Ultron artifact. But that cannot be what they mean by different rewards because they already explained that like 6 months ago when they released Ultron, right? So, yeah, meaning that challenging higher levels will be much more rewarding. Again, and they want to add new world bosses at a quicker pace. Okay, so where's that quicker pace, my dudes? You didn't add gore. You haven't added any new characters. The amount of development that's going on in the game is as low as it's ever been, right? It's not like they're releasing Infinity War type updates with 10 plus uniforms per day, per month. They're releasing 2 to 3 uniforms a month and calling it a day. You guys are releasing 5 uniforms in total and just dusting your hands and being like, wow, I worked so hard. Listen, it's mean to say you're not working hard. I'm not saying you're not working hard. I'm just saying that the dev note is implying things that you guys are not delivering on, right? That's just straight up. That's just straight up the truth. So either you guys should release another dev note and clarify, but hey guys, you know, we hit some development obstacles, whatever, the engine is old, you know, we need more time, or hit us with some teasers, right? Everybody likes teasers. The sneak peeks nowadays are not really doing it, right? We know the updates, we know what updates are coming, and we also know that there's not going to be any surprises in those updates, right? Like oh man, Zombie Strange? Are we going to get Zombie Strange? Nope. No Zombie Strange. Are we going to get supervillain Wanda? Nope. Any kind of multiverse thing? Nope. Nope. Multi means many. We don't do that here at MFF anymore. Yo, Thor Love and Thunder. Could we get like a new character? Zeus maybe? Hercules? Could we get like synergy uniforms? We're literally asking for you to give us more things to spend money on. This stuff ain't free, dog. Synergy uniforms don't grow on trees. It costs crystals. And I see free-to-play players disappointed that there's no synergy uniforms for Thor or Jane Foster or whoever. That there's no new characters. Not all those characters are going to be free, dog. Not all those characters are going to be bio-selectors. It just boggles my mind, right? It boggles my mind that I see that. And the devs, on the other hand, are just like, yeah, we're just going to do a Storm uniform. Yeah, we're just going to do a uniform for Storm. Copy and paste most of her skills. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah. I know this is another rant video, but I thought I would go and approach it from the angle of their past promises and how they have delivered or failed to deliver on them, to give more concrete evidence, and then also highlighting communication, because for as long as I can remember, since I started the channel, communication has always been an issue for Marvel Future Fight, as it is for basically every intimate relationship you, the viewer, has with anyone in your life, as with anyone in the world. I didn't mean to make that so personal to you, the viewer. I meant like the viewers, myself included. But anywho, look at this. Look at this. Last thing here. 2,500 loves on this post. 69 ha-has, which is perfect. And 233 likes. Only 57 angry or 9 crying children. I want to get back to this, man. 700 comments. And a whopping 200. This still blows my mind for a 7-year-old game. Where is this kind of hype? This is what I want. This is what we need to get back to, MFF. Come on, man. Like, hire a couple more people if that's what it takes. Like, the money's there. Like, you know, the spending is there. Come on, guys. Jeez. It's getting kind of, you know, it's getting kind of sad now. It's getting kind of annoying now. So, yeah. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the dev notes and the lack of new ones and lack of surveys. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll have another video today reacting to all the San Diego Comic-Con announcements. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.